Hello, everybody. This is Ron Dittmars talking to you from the Erasmus Academy Recording Studios, and this is the 27th portion, believe it or not. And we're going to take a look at this week at the Fraktur script, which is very prominent, and you'll come across it often in your research if you're doing anything in the early 20th century or definitely the 19th century. It's quite an elegant script, and it's not too hard to get used to reading it. So each of the 5 series this week will provide practice for reading it, and the texts themselves are fairly straightforward. So it's really a chance to identify the letters, as you see here. And we have as our guest speaker Chad, who's been with us several times before. You'll probably recognize him. So Chad, you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm Chad Hauk. I live down in Waco, Texas. I'm just finishing up my first year of doctoral studies in church music at Baylor University. Studied with the Erasmus Academy, German last summer, and just trying to keep up my skills.
Great. Okay. So Fraktur, at the end of the 15th century, in Germany, books were printed in a dark, barely legible Gothic type of style. And it wasn't until the German Emperor Maximilian, his dates are 1493, he reigned from 1493 to 1519, decided to establish a splendid library of printed books, and to create a new typeface, which was designed for this purpose. The typeface was to be more elegant than the boorish Swabischer, and more modern than the Gothic Textura, and yet distinctly German. And I'll talk something more about the history of that as we go on. So let's see, there's some other images I just want to pull up. This one here, this is basically in Fraktur script. And here's a very German name, of course, as Chad, you pointed out. The Life of Pablo, written in Fraktur. Okay, so we're going to look right now at the alphabet and just try to distinguish some of the letters. Let's see. I'm going to start out with this B. This B, I guess it sort of looks like a B. Let's see if I can find a color here. Good. I can change colors. No, that's fine. Can you see the color here, Chad?
Yes.
Okay, so the first thing to look at, these are all fairly distinguishable letters, and you have the Roman here and the German or the Gothic on the left-hand side. But the first one that you really poses a problem is the F, and it sort of looks like an F, but when we get down to the S and the F look very similar. The S will have everything that the F has except a small little point here, this cross-horizontal point. Okay, then the G is pretty hard to distinguish by itself. That's why if you're looking at a text where you're pretty familiar with the vocabulary, you can start to identify that as a G, but it doesn't look like very much like a G to us. Here's the H. We're unaccustomed to seeing this cross line at the bottom, so it's hard to discern that as an H. The I, E, and Yod. These two letters are pretty interchangeable. You'll notice that the capital letters have exactly the same form, maybe somewhat maddening, but the K is a little bit odd too. The K here, what do you expect with a K, Chad, normally in English? I mean,
well, you have the line going down from the middle to the right.
Exactly, yeah. So it's not there in the lower case Fraktur script. And here, this looks almost like an R, but it's actually a K. Okay, let's see. Going down a bit. Okay, then going on to MN is okay, not too bad. O is all right. P almost looks like a B. Let me check here again. Right here, almost looks like a B, so you have to distinguish that. The Q, now this looks almost like exactly like the O, and the only little thing that's distinguishing is this teeny little point down here, which we see with a capital Q, obviously, but it's very written in a very small way. So again, knowing the vocabulary will help you identify when that's a Q as opposed to an O. All right, the S, and then this is the stumbler right here. This looks like an F, right? But what's the difference there? Remember, Chad?
It's the
horizontal line.
Horizontal line, yeah, it's just very small.
Very small on the right-hand side, so that's like an S. Okay, T, again, wonder why this thing at the bottom is, so it looks almost like an I. Now the V and the W's, we're not accustomed to seeing these cross lines at the top, but they occur there, and this almost looks like a B here. But again, this cross line at the top, makes it hard to distinguish. Just like the W or the V, double V as they call it sometimes. Again, they have the two cross lines at the top. The X doesn't look like really like an X here, but that it is. And then the U, which is really crazy, upsilon, looks like an N almost. So those are some things you have to distinguish. Then you come down to some other letters here. These A, O, and U umlauts are not too hard to distinguish because you know that only those three receive those umlauts. But Fraktur's script tended to write these four letter combinations together. So CH, you can see the combinations here on the right. CH, CK, those are actually two letters written together. And then SZ, which is the two S's written in modern German like a beta in Greek. And then the TZ, also written together. So we'll see some examples of this in the text that we look at. Okay, so here's our marvelous text. It's a little bit long. I hope you can see it clearly. Let me see if I can just increase it the size. Okay, that's fine. All right, so as we did before, I'll be reading out loud, and Chad will repeat after me. Please read with Chad as we get used to this, and we'll look at individual words and identify what letters they are as we go through the text specifically, because that's the reason for this exercise, is to learn how to read this text out loud and to understand it. So, and then we'll do we'll analyze the sentence, and please, as I ask Chad questions, try to imagine in your mind what the answers are as we put together the meaning of these sentences. Okay, the title is Kurze Geschichte der deutschen Universitäten. Everybody?
Kurze Geschichte der deutschen Universitäten.
So the first challenges are seeing these S's, it looks like F right here. This is an S, not an F, even though the line goes below the line of the sentence. And then here's another, Universitäten, with an S here, and Deutschen. So the T, three S's here that looks like F's. Okay, and what does that mean?
Short history of German universities.
Good. Going on. Einige deutsche Universitäten sind sehr alt. Everybody?
Einige deutsche Universitäten sind sehr alt.
Okay, here's another one. This looks like an F, right? This is an S. And then here's another one. So they're all over the place. So I'm sure you're getting used to that now. This means some, and that's just an adjective. You just want to translate that first sentence?
Sure. Some German universities are very old.
Good. Oh, very old. Great. Alt. But by the way, 1 out of 3 words in German is very similar. I should say 1 out of 3 words in English come from German, and 2 out of 3 words come from the Latin-based languages via French into English. So there's a lot you'll discover. For example, alt and sind. So going on. Kaiser Karl IV. Gründete die erste deutsche Universität. Everybody?
Kaiser Karl IV. Gründete die erste deutsche Universität.
Good. Just up there. So here, again, this looks like an R, but since we know that Kaiser, Karl are Ks, we recognize them as Ks. And this is the fourth, der vierte. Okay. Going on. In Prague im Jahre 1348. Just go up to in Prague im Jahre.
Okay. In Prague im Jahre.
Okay, then this is 1300.
1348.
So as you may know, you read this first and then you say literally 1308 and 40, the way that they read the years in German. Okay. Just translate that second sentence, please.
Kaiser Karl IV founded the first German university in Prague in the year 1348.
So if we were analyzing this, where would be the verb?
Gründete,
Okay, we put a box around the verb, and the subject is
Kaiser Karl.
Karl IV. And he founded
Fourth.
what? What's the direct object?
Universität.
Yeah, so there's your core sentence right there. And in Prague. Okay, good. All right, going on. Prag ist heute natürlich nicht in Deutschland. Everybody?
Prag ist heute natürlich nicht in Deutschland,
Sondern in der Tschechoslowakei.
sondern in der Czechoslovakia.
You pronounce it better than I did. Okay, this is a good word. This doesn't look like, almost looks like an I, but it's actually a T. So it's TSCH is the way that you begin with the prior name of the country, Czechoslovakia, and then this is a V, not an M, Vakai, and here's a K. So this is a marvelous word for discovering,
Wow.
what these letters designate and what letters they are, in fact. Okay, let's see. Progress naturally. So you want to just translate that sentence, please?
Sure. Prague is today, of course, not in Germany, rather in Czechoslovakia, which I guess would be Czech Republic.
Yeah.
Now.
Great. Okay, good. Going on. Die zweitälteste deutsche Universität ist in Wien.
Die zweitälteste deutsche Universität ist in Wien.
So just looking at this word here, zwei means two, but zweite is the ordinal word, means the second. So this means the second oldest, älteste. And here you have another S. And this is a W, not an M here. Deutsche Universität Wien. Going on. Also auch nicht im heutigen Deutschland. Everybody?
Also auch nicht im heutigen Deutschland.
Okay, up to the comma, where's the verb?
Universität?
Well,
sorry, the verb. Ist.
Ist, yeah, so it is. And the subject is?
It's Universität.
Yeah, the university is in Vienna, Wien, and then this is not an M, but it's a W. Okay, let's see. Also auch nicht im heutigen Deutschland. Just finish that sentence.
The translation, or
Yeah.
just reading it?
Just translation.
Oh, thus also not in present-day Germany.
Great, good. Going on. Die älteste Universität Deutschlands ist in Heidelberg. Everybody?
Die älteste Universität Deutschland ist in Heidelberg.
What is this S doing on the end of Deutschland?
It's a possessive.
Good. Okay. So again, here's your verb ist, and these are very simple sentences. The oldest, this is the superlative with the st, the oldest university of Germany, because as you correctly said, this is the possessive, is in Heidelberg. Going on. Im Jahre 1500, everybody?
Im Jahre 1500
hatte Deutschland 16 Universitäten.
hatte Deutschland 16 Universitäten.
Good. This is the verb had in the year. What is the im contraction for?
In dem.
Good. Yeah, in dem Jahre. Okay. Let's see. Just translate the last two sentences, starting from die älteste.
Okay. The oldest university of Germany is in Heidelberg. In the year 1500, Germany had 16 universities.
Great. Going on. Die Hauptlehrfächer waren das römische und kanonische Recht. Everybody?
Die Hauptlehrfächer waren das römische und kanonische Recht.
So I hope everybody's having fun with these letters and trying to sort out what they are. It does take a while. So Fach is like a field of study. Lehren is to teach, and Haupt means the principal or the head. So the principal fields of instruction is how you would pronounce that, how you would translate that very literally. And this is obviously an H, although it looks like a B initially. Then this is the verb. They were. Then Roman and canonical law. Let's see. Then going on. Theologie, Philosophie und Medizin.
Theologie, Philosophie und Medizin.
Good. Do that last sentence then.
Okay, the principal fields of instruction were Roman and canonical law, theology, philosophy, and medicine.
Good. A nice curriculum. Okay.
Yes.
Going on. Die Bundesrepublik hat heute Universitäten, technische Hochschulen. Up to there.
Die Bundesrepublik hat heute Universitäten, technische Hochschulen.
Yeah, so this is the Federal Republic, Bundesrepublik. This is your verb, has today universities, technical colleges, you could say. Hochschule doesn't mean isn't equivalent to our high school, obviously, because it does mean more advanced. It means universities or colleges, technical colleges, special colleges, und viele andere Bildungsanstalten. Everybody?
Und viele andere Bildungsanstalten.
Good, great. This is where you divide that second word. Bildung just means education, and it's our English word to build comes from this directly. To form, it means education or formation, and Anstalt is an institute, and it's connected with an S to make a compound noun, so it means educational institutions. Going on, wie zum Beispiel, this means for example, and here's a B. It looks like a B actually, which is nice. Wie zum Beispiel Musikhochschulen und pädagogische Akademien. Everybody?
Wie zum Beispiel Musikhochschulen und pädagogische Akademien.
Great. Okay. How about just doing that little paragraph? Just translate that for us slowly.
Okay. The Federal Republic now has universities, technical colleges, special colleges, and many other educational institutions, as for example, music colleges and pedagogical academies.
Perfect. Great. Let me just go down a little bit here and erase this. Okay, going on. Die DDR, Deutsche Demokratische Republik. Everybody?
Die DDR, Deutsche Demokratische Republik.
And this was East Germany. That's just the formal name of East Germany then at that time. Hat auch viele Bildungsanstalten. Everybody?
Hat auch viele Bildungsanstalten.
We'll just go on. Die berühmte Humboldt-Universität ist im Ostsektor.
Die berühmte Humboldt-Universität ist im Ostsektor.
Die Freie Universität im Westsektor Berlins.
Die Freie Universität im Westsektor Berlins.
Okay, so this is the German Democratic Republic. And then here's your verb, hat. And where's your direct object?
Bildungsanstalten.
Good. Bildungsanstalten. Hard word to pronounce. Then berühmte means famous.
Right.
And the famous Humboldt University. We had someone last summer in the German course who is studying at Humboldt University, a really great university, now fully accessible because of the unification. Okay. Ist im Ostsector. So what is the Ostsector?
It's the eastern sector.
Yeah, in East Germany, and im then is a contraction for in dem, and then die Freie Universität, the Free University, is in the West sector. You want to just do that those last short paragraph?
Sure. The German Democratic Republic also has many educational institutions. The famous Humboldt University is in the East sector. The Free University is in the west sector of Berlin.
Perfect. Fantastic. Well, I hope you've all enjoyed this little taste, maybe initial taste for some of you, to the Fraktur script. It's really fun to work with. And for the next 4 sessions throughout this week, we'll look at different texts that have the Fraktur script, and you'll get more and more familiar with it and maybe enjoy it a lot more. So thanks a lot for tuning in, and talk to you later. Bye-bye.